eye. You can see in this diagram various parts of an eye. This is aqueous chamber. It is the distance between cornea and lens. This distance is known as aqueous chamber, and the distance between this lens to retina is known as vitreous chamber. You can see here in the diagram. This is cornea. It is the posterior part of the external layer. This is lens, which is attached by ciliary body. In this retina, this upward projected fold is known as fovea. Here you can see this sclera is the outermost layer of eye, which is made up of dense connective tissues. Then is choroid, the middle layer. It is bluish in appearance due to presence of blood vessels in it. Then is retina. Retina consists of three kind of cells: ganglion, bipolar and photoreceptor. Photoreceptor cells further contains rods and cones. Here you can see this is the blind spot. This is the spot where no photoreceptor is present, and here the optic nerve is passing through the eye. So these are the parts of an eye. Let us understand the mechanism of vision, that is, how do we see things? When light of visible wavelength gets into cornea, it is passed on to retina through lens, which in turn generates potential. There are two types of protein present in eye. This is opsin and retinal. These proteins, especially retinal, it dissociates, and hence the membrane potential is disrupted. This leads to, here you can see these photoreceptors, they are dissociating. Potential difference is generated, which passes on the signal to bipolar cell through ganglion cells, and hence this impulse is conducted through optical nerve to optical region in the brain. We can see this again. Light gets to cornea, lens changes or generates potential, light is fallen to retina, where the protein present gets dissociated, hence potential difference is generated in photoreceptor cells through ganglion cells, which are responsible for this change in nerve impulse, and hence signals are generated through bipolar cells and carried through optical nerve to the optical region in the brain. Ear. You can see in the diagram, ear is majorly divided into three parts: outer, middle and inner ear. This outer ear consists of pinna plus external auditory canal, and middle ear consists of malleus, stapes and incus, whereas inner ear is composing of eustachian tube, which is connecting middle ear to pharynx, as well as inner ear is also having, or inner ear is also known as labyrinth. This labyrinth is divided into two parts: bony labyrinth as well as membranous labyrinth, and this coiled labyrinth is known as cochlea. Vestibular apparatus, which is responsible for maintaining the balance of body fluid, is also present in inner ear. Ear is responsible for hearing as well as ear is responsible for maintaining the fluid balance of the body. Let us understand the mechanism of hearing. When sound reaches external ear, it is passed on to eardrum where it vibrates and then gets passed on to ear ossicles. When it is passing towards ear ossicles, it gets into the inner part of the ear, reaching hair cell. These hair cells, it passes from ossicles to cochlear where the fluid is present, in turn to the lymph fluid, and then finally to basilar membrane, and from basilar membrane it reaches to hair cell receptors, and in turn these hair cells, they are pressed against testicular or testicular membrane, and thus this testicular membrane generates signal which is carried through auditory nerve across auditory canal to the brain, and hence we hear things.